the phone don't ring. You got your wife, you got your car, just keep those kids out of the front yard. Got you feeling like a dog in heat, working you like a piece of meat. I hear the sirens in my neighborhood, we laugh it off if the story's good.
For everyone else to follow. If you saw a few distilleries before, we'll show you how they should have been doing it. So, Springbank Distillery was founded in 1828 by John and Archibald Mitchell. We've stayed in the same family ever since. Our chairman, Mr. Wright, is a great-great-great-grandson of John Mitchell. That makes us the oldest family-owned independent distillery in Scotland, and also the only distillery still doing 100% of the production process here. Up the top, underneath the roof, we have our dry peat, and it comes from Inverness. Now we're using both the dry and the wet peat because when added to the kiln, they're going to give us two different things. The dry peat is going to help us start the fire, whereas the wet peat, because it's wet, gives off a lot of smoke. That's the thing we call peat reek, giving you the smoky flavours throughout your peated whiskies. You're going to add these peats in differently depending on the whisky you're making. We'll talk about that in just a second, but for now, I'd like to ask you to turn around the other way and check out our condensers. Now, we have the shell and tube condenser on the right there, and the larger worm tub condenser to the left of that, which passes through Springbank. We don't have another one hidden away somewhere else. You can thank this one here for all the whisky. So the barley sits above the kiln here, about 12 feet above it, on a mesh wire floor. Open floor can allow all that hot air and smoke to circulate into the barley and really dry the grain. Now, three different whiskies coming out of Springbank. That's your Hazelburn, your Springbank and your Longrow. Starting with our Hazelburn. unpeated. Not going to germinate anymore, and we can keep the barley in here for up to 2 months before we have to take it forward to the next part of the production process. Previously, our production was kind of half what it is now, and that's because we used to have the one team who would do the maltings. They'd fill these bins and then go forward and use what was in these bins to distill. Whereas now, we've got a team doing the two at the same time, so we've almost doubled our production now. So these bins, as you can see now, are quite full, but we're still distilling on the other end as well, so we've got the two running simultaneously. It's a tongue twister for a Saturday. Brilliant. Nothing went wrong with their equipment. When you bought, say, a mill from them, you never bought another because it never broke down and it never needed replaced.
Well, that's not Apple, that's for sure.
You just stole my next joke! That is obviously...
Sorry.
Yeah, I usually can change it up and say they should get Steve Jobs in, but even more sugar from that grist. So a second water, 6,000 litres at 72 degrees Celsius to get even more sugar out of that grist. Then you do a third water. This water is a little bit different. Your first and your second waters have already got the majority of the sugar from the grist. They're used for fermentation. They have 6 washbacks and they're all made from goat skin larch. We fill them up with 21,000 litres of wort, so your first and your second waters from that mash tun downstairs will be pumped into here and fill the washbacks up to around about this point just here. To that we're going to add around 75 kilograms of M-strain distiller's yeast to start that fermentation process. So the yeast will consume the sugar and convert it into alcohol. You can either look here or look at the diagrams just above there, but I'm aware that the casks are a little bit in the way. So we have diagrams there explaining the distillations, or you can look at the stills here. Now, Hazelburn, our unpeated, is triple distilled. All 3 stills are used to produce Hazelburn. That lends again to the lightness of it. It's very crisp, it's very easy drinking because it's been distilled 3 times. Pretty typical of the way the Irish make their whisky with distillations. Your long rope is double distilled. So, this wash still and the still behind me here are used to distill your whisky for them. Imagine we take the pump from here to fill the cask. Now, casks vary in sizes, meaning they can hold a different amount of litres each time. Examples up top show you the small cask on the left at 100, over to the barrel at 200, the hogshead at 250, and then that large sherry butt on the right there at 500 litres. And we do a few different things in here. We fill the casks, we weigh them, and we also stencil different, a lot larger in comparison in your casks are stacked right the way up the sides, kind of 7, 8, 9 high, just depending on how large the warehouse itself is. That gives us 8 warehouses in total, and they're all on site. Otherwise, we would be doing 100% the production process here. Maturation is very important in production. It's what's going to give your cask its flavour, its complexity, and also your whisky its colour.
Right now, feeling it, breathing the smoke after the damage was done. Right now, feeling it, another pitch on the run. Hey, hey. Right now, feeling it, breathing the smoke after the damage was done. Right
Urocza pogoda i tak przez pół dnia. Nie zamierza się poprawiać. Niedługo dojadę do jeziora Loch Ness. Jeszcze tylko kilka kilometrów.